friends, if you'd like to support us even further, you can become a member of our YouTube channel or Patreon. You'll unlock exclusive content like early access to our new videos, ad-free viewing, event decklists, and special shoutouts. Links are in the description down below. My friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Silence, your host for today's decklist, and we have a spicy one this time. With the arrival of the new Dracotail cards, we have a new, hidden and crazy way to play Witchcrafter, our beloved archetype. I think I rarely saw this build used, but it has a lot of potential, and if you want to play just to have fun, like I do, and not only to win tournaments, this deck is really a hidden gem. So my friends, I explained in detail every new Dracotail card in our last Dracotail Dragon Maid deck profile. You can find it linked in the upper right corner. Let's start with the decklist. We run one copy of Aruru, one copy of Verre, one Pan, one Ain, you can run 2 if you want to, but I didn't feel the need to, one copy of Urkula, 3 copies mandatory of Faimena, a key card for Dracotail, 3 copies of our Dracotail starter Lucius, 3 copies of Schimietta, 2 copies of Blazing Cartesia, an honorary Witchcrafter, 2 copies of Mululu, 1 Frixul, 1 Pottery, 2 copies of Jenny. For entraps we run 3 Ash Blossom and 2 Max Chi, and now for the spell part of the deck. We run 1 copy of Grass, crazy card, 2 copies of Trust, 3 Creation to search our Witchcrafters, 2 copies of Collaboration, 3 copies of Verre Magic, very useful new card, 2 copies of Unveiling, 2 copies of Holiday, 1 by Street, 1 Magicalized Fusion, 3 copies of Ketu and 3 copies of Rao, mandatory guys, 3 copies of Fusion Deployment, and guys, look at this artwork, one of the best in all Yu-Gi-Oh! For me. 2 copies of Confusion Confession, 1 Called by the Grave, and then we run our 3 Dracotail traps, Horn, Flame, Sting. For the extra deck we ran 1 copy of Quintet Magician. As you saw in the replays, this card is very useful when it works. 2 copies of Artalion, 1 copy of Mysterion, 1 copy of Secretarion, 2 copies of Vice Madame, our Witchcrafter boss monster, 1 copy of Granguinol to reveal with Fusion Deployment, 1 Chaostar Source Dragon, 2 copies of Dracotail Gulamel, 1 copy of Shaurus. This card is not often used, but I had the space in the extra deck, so I decided to give it a try, and it was good. You can cut it if you don't want it. You can target 2 Dracotail cards in your graveyard and 1 face-up card on the field of the same type, monster, spell or trap, as one of them, shuffle all 3 into the deck. And then again, like all Dracotail Fusion monsters, if 2 or more monsters are sent to the graveyard at the same time, you can special summon this card. For the link part of the deck, we ran 1 copy of Little Knight, 1 Masquerina, and 1 Vertenaconda. So guys, with this build I had a lot of fun. It's a refreshing and very strong new way to play Witchcrafter, and if you enjoy the archetype, I highly suggest you to try it. Witchcrafter is one of my favorite archetypes, so you knew I had to try this. Okay my friends, that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, hype, comment and share with your Duelist friends. Remember that you can become a member of our Patreon or YouTube channel for exclusive content, and we'll see on the next deck list. Bye my friends!